I'll tell you my biggest learning from this whole experience of applying for jobs is do not apply for jobs on LinkedIn. Hey, I'm back with a conclusion to the series, and I felt like the series just ended abruptly, and I didn't have time to kind of update on what was happening. Let's talk about what happened in this 2 months. After my previous company, I went home to Calcutta for some time because I had not been there for a very long time. And I just saw this as an opportunity to kind of go back home. That was about for like one or 2 weeks. And then 1 or 2 weeks was for my friend's wedding. Before that, me and my friends went to Banaras, and then from there we went to Patna for the wedding. So that was that 1 month that just went by, like just taking like seriously a break. After I came back from Patna, I came back to Bangalore. That is when the pressure of getting a job started once I came back to Bangalore. I started by applying a lot on LinkedIn. Towards the end of this 2 months, I realized how useless that was, because LinkedIn has become a very useless platform, especially when it comes to searching for jobs, because you apply and all you get is like very generic email saying that your profile was not selected. I'll tell you my biggest learning from this whole experience of applying for jobs is do not apply for jobs on LinkedIn. Apply for jobs on Naukri. The best companies that have reached out to me, probably the only companies that have reached out to me, have been through Naukri, and their response is so fast. Like, I used to apply the night before, and the next day the recruiter used to call me, and these have been from big companies like Wipro, like Cognizant, like PepsiCo, and it was amazing how responsive people were on Naukri, and you could see getting at least the first round of getting into the first round of interviews in Naukri. So I do not know what is happening with LinkedIn. I think too many people are applying over there or something. I think my greatest learning from this was that Naukri is an amazing platform if you are just looking for jobs. If you want to, after getting the job, if you want to boast and gloat about what job you got, then you can go on LinkedIn and post that, because that is what people are doing on LinkedIn. So that was going on for some time, like 1.5 months, and the first opportunity that I got was by reaching out to somebody in a certain company. There's this one platform where a lot of US jobs are listed, and these are all remote jobs. So I was going through that, and I saw one company over there. So I wanted to do a little bit more research about the company before applying in it. And so I went to their website, and I saw that they have a contact email over there. I sent out a cold email saying that I'm a designer, and I want to work with your company, and these are my experiences so far. And it was also a edtech company, so I think that is something that I did fit in. So I sent my resume, and I was not expecting like anything from there, because it was a very random cold email that I sent. But after a couple of days, the chief technical officer of that company did reply back to me that he would want to have a word with me. During that task, I didn't have time to also shoot vlogs and and work on the task at the same time. So that was the time period when I stopped making the vlogs. They all worked on US time, and it was very difficult for me to communicate with them, because all these calls that meetings that were set up with them were very odd times for me. So it was a very demanding job, but because I didn't have a job and I was quite desperate, so I thought okay, better than nothing, I rather take up this for now. So it was a contract kind of thing, and finally, after like a couple of rounds and like a lot of waiting, I finally got it. I was quite happy, and that day I remember, like the day I got the offer letter from that company, I went out at 4 o'clock in the night to have biryani from this place which serves biryani at 4 o'clock in the night. So I got a job at this company, and I started working.
रुको जरा सबर करो
Somewhere, sometime I had applied for this company called Diageo as a learning design specialist. And I did not know much about the company. And one random day, the recruiter, the HR person calls me. And this HR person was not from like a consultant or something like that. She was a HR recruiter for Diageo. And she calls me and she asks me that, do you know about Diageo you had applied? And I shamelessly say that I do not know anything. Then I went to the website and I was surprised that it was such a huge brand. This company is based out of London and it has like a ton of different offices in many different countries, and it's a proper MNC. So I got really excited when I got to know about this, that it's a big company, and my dream of working for a MNC might come true. So then this process started where, the first round of interview was set up. Essentially, it was a learning and development role. And even though throughout the years, it is something that I have done in some way or the other, I have never been in the position of a L&D developer and done those roles. And I had like, I think 2 or 3 days before my interview was scheduled, and I finished whatever material was there on the internet. There is this one very good channel, I'll link it down below. His name is Devlin Peck. He talked a lot about what L&D is and what the fundamentals of an L&D is. And I finished his whole, I think, all the videos of his channel. After that, I also finished quickly one very small course on Coursera about learning and development. So I assimilated like 5-6 months of data in 5-6 days, and I was like prepared for the interview. During this research period, also I found out that the work that I did before was actually related to L&D, but we never had the formal knowledge of understanding of how we are applying L&D principles. Even though we were applying it at a subconscious level, we were not applying it consciously. So it was very important for me to get to know, specific terms of instructional design and how different models of instructional design work, and how do we consciously apply them to make L&D modules. So that is all that I learned, and I went for this interview. And it was good that I prepared for it, because they did ask a lot of questions which were regarding my previous employment and how I tackled L&D projects over there. I would have been thrown off by these questions if I did not prepare that much that I did. So the first round happened. I was not very confident if I will get through, even though I answered most of the questions. One question which I got stuck in, that was, if you ever had to change someone's mind, how did you change it? After a couple of days, the HR tells me that you have gotten through the first round and now is your task round. Okay. So task round was a design round. They gave me this task to build like a module which talked about drinking responsibly. I must say, I went overboard with the task. I did not leave any stone unturned for this task. Like, I did whatever was humanly possible within the time period that I had to finish this task. And one day also got wasted because, like, the task they sent, it had a link for the content and that link was not working. So I told the HR did not get back to me immediately. She got back to me after one day, and I lost out on one day over there. But then I just hammered on that task for the rest of the 2-3 days, continuously, adding more value to the task and adding whatever aspects that I could. I showcased my video editing skills, I showcased my e-learning, module building skills, I showcased my visual design skills, and everything I kind of then put together, and I send it to them on I had to send I got the task on Saturday. I had to send it back to them on Tuesday. So I sent it back to them with a very long documentation about how I went about this process. I was quite confident that they would like, and then they scheduled my final round. And this round was amazing because two people who interviewed me, one was from Dublin and the other guy was from London. And these were very senior guys, like 40 years in the industry, 20 years in the industry. And they had only positive things to say about my task. They just praised it that, within the amount of time that I had, I did an amazing job. I do not know how good my task was, but I think they were overall also impressed by the amount of effort that I put into that task. This happens on a Friday, and they tell me that this is the final round, but we also have to evaluate other candidates, and after evaluating all the candidates, we'll get back to you by the mid of next week. So I'm waiting, like, this weekend just goes by stressing that what will happen, next week. I do not know. On Monday night, the HR sends me a mail saying that, send your documents. I'm confused that, am I in? Is this like done? Like, because nothing is written over there other than, Anindya, send your certain documents, which are like you send when you're getting hired, right? I was happy inside, but also I did not know ki, am I sure, like, did I clear it? because it was quite late in the night. I did not call up the HR. I just immediately sent all my documents, whatever was requested. I wait for the next day to call and ask the HR to call me. So the next day, kind of like mid of next day, there is no call from the HR or something like that. So I call the HR. She tells me that she is on leave and she was supposed to call me. And then in between all this, she just slips in that congratulations, you are selected. And there was a lot of things that I just like dropped that week. I used to sleep every day at 2 o'clock, get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and work on the task. All that made sense now because I had gotten through. So she said that she was on leave that whole week, but she had been told to close my candidature on priority. So she would try to contact with me this week and do my HR round. This is where stressful situation 2 starts. I never got the time to actually celebrate it because I was still unsure of what is happening and am I getting the job or not. And this 1 week was quite stressful for me because the HR was on leave and she was not scheduling my HR round. And even though she said that she was going to, and like on mail I kind of asked her that when can you schedule my HR round. She said that I'll get back to you tomorrow, but she never called me, she never scheduled the HR round. My one previous experience where some HR had ghosted me in the final round after taking my documents, that started that PTSD started kicking in, that what if it is happening again over here. And I'd gone through too much to kind of now not be selected in the HR round. So I was kind of panicking that whole week, waiting for the HR to calling her a lot of times. Sometimes she didn't pick up, sometimes she did pick up. That week was like probably the worst week. During all this, I got another offer from a company called Design Box, and they gave me an amazing offer with just 2 rounds of interview, no task, nothing. It was again a 6 days work from office also. So it was going to be probably a worse situation than what I was already working in. Sunday, I just messaged her in the morning that I have this other offer letter. I'm just kind of not accepting it because I think that Diageo will work out, but you're not getting back to me. So I am in this space where I'm unsure of what I'm supposed to do, and because of that, like I haven't been able to sleep properly. I've been in a lot of like anxiety because of that. So she did reply that you are selected. I was on leave, my backup was on leave, and next week definitely I'll get you the offer letter. So this gave me some kind of confidence and some kind of relief that I was okay, fine, let that other offer letter go and wait for Diageo to come back to me. Even though I did not expect Diageo to give me an amazing offer, because I understood that it was an MNC, and the initial discussion, the first time when the HR had called me and she said, you are already on the higher side, is it negotiable? And I said, yeah. The next week comes and this HR, she does indeed get in touch with me. So I submitted all my things and then we kind of negotiated about the offer. I was waiting on Tuesday and she sent my offer letter for approval. She called me and she told me that your offer has been approved, we had sent it for approval, and we are giving you so and so much. And I was like out of this world, that it's much more than what I had asked, and they kind of matched what Design Box was giving, and I was so happy at that point. So and then like this they sent me the offer in a portal kind of thing, and the portal was also very amazing. Like I've never had such an onboarding experience before, because I've always worked for small startups. They usually just send the snippet of an Excel sheet, like they fill it in an Excel sheet and then they take the screenshot of it and they send back. But here that there was like a proper portal in which you log in and you can see your offer, you can see your benefits that you get from the company, and it was and in the portal itself you can kind of accept your offer. And it felt very nice, it felt very special, and felt very different to have an onboarding experience like this. Currently I'm waiting for my background verification to complete, so I've submitted my documents. So there's like a 1-2 weeks of background verification that will happen, and I've also resigned in my current company. Recently, me and my girlfriend, we started watching Suits. I was telling her that I want to wear a suit and go to office, and or like a formal and go to office. That I've never been to an office where I've worn formals. I remember the first day when I joined Byju's and we were called for our induction. I did not know what to wear. We were straight out of college, and that day I wore formals, I remember. And like throughout my 8 years working in different startups, I never wore formals. And I was telling her that, like in suits, how they wear formals, I also want to work in a high rise building and wear formals. And it's so cool that that dream has come true. The best part about this is that around 1 year ago, exactly this time is when I had gone to Dublin, and I saw the Guinness factory and I tried out the Guinness beer. And now I'm gonna be a part of a company which owns Guinness. So that was the end of this series of being jobless to having multiple offers, very high paying offers, and accepting an offer from an MNC and being very happy about it. Like I'm so happy about the offer that I got, and I'm very excited about my life going forward after working for such a nice company and the benefits and the perks that come with it. I'm very excited about that. And from going to this 2 months where I was not able to sleep and sleep with the anxiety of what I'm going to do in life, to probably nowadays getting up early and not being able to sleep because of the excitement of what all I'll do once I, kind of start living that life. So I am probably in the best space right now because you never know once you join what happens. But I feel only great things are coming my way. So this is an amazing, I think, conclusion to the series. And I'll see you next time whenever I make any more videos about, what's going on. Thank you. Bye bye.